What's up, YouTube? It's Dylan from the Buddy Force here. We've got our friend Liang once again. You guys might remember him from his Odd Eyes deck profile that he did for our channel. And now he's got a new creation. Liang, what are you playing now?
I'm playing probably the worst deck I've ever played in the format. Ancient Warriors, my ancestors.
So is that why you decided to play the deck? It was your ancestors?
Yes, and I've seen so many net decks. I've seen Team Sam's. I've seen a whole bunch of other ones. They all suck. I've tested all of them. I think they deliberately make the deck bad so nobody buys it. But the support's coming out soon, and it's only half complete without like the entirety of the Fire Kingdom and all of the remaining Wind ones and the Link 2. So I think this deck has a lot of potential in the future. And currently, right now, it's top locals once, and it's held a pretty positive record, but I got absolutely demolished today, so.
Right, so you're saying that your build is the best build out there right now?
Yes.
Okay, but how competitive is it?
How competitive is it? In the current meta, it will lose to every single deck possible, except for Shaddoll's.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's just get right into it.
I'm truthful. So, 3 cards. Ancient Warrior Sun Mo. So, I've only seen one other YouTuber not pronounce these names correct. So it's Swin Mo, all right? And what happens is all the water monsters, they send a card that you control or from your hand, and then they search for another Ancient Warrior card. So this Sun Mo is the card that you could discard a card as cost, or send a card as cost, and search for another Ancient Warrior monster. Usually you want to look for the Wind Ultra Rare, or you want to look for another special summon of some sort. This makes a lot of your plays live because it could also send your spells from the field to the grave. So that's 3 of that. 3 of this because there's nothing else better to run as another level 4 normal summon. We just want to maximize our Ancient Warrior names in the deck because not all of them are out yet. So what this card does is, as an effect, you can send a spell trap, continuous spell trap you control to the grave, not as cost, and you can search for another Ancient Warrior spell trap, usually 3 visits or some sort of interruption like the Sun Leal Alliance. So all of these cards have what's called they're kind of like a musketeer effect. So for the waters, when one Ancient Warrior activates an effect, the other Ancient Warrior's other effect goes off. For example, this effect, when another Ancient Warrior's effect is used, it gets to compulse a card back to the hand. And this card, if another Ancient Warrior effect is used, it gets to negate a monster on the field. So in conjunction, they have like a lot of interruption during the battle phase, just about the battle phase only, or your main phase if you have a lot of effects activate from hand. But without the Cao Cao and all the Fire Kingdom people, they're not live as often as you need. And then last water one, I probably should just take this out, is Lu Jing. And
How do you pronounce this one?
I pronounce this one. It's Zhou Gong. And so the card that's going to be released, Zhuge Liang or Zhuge Kong, apparently that strategist beat him so many times that he was so mad that he died. He mauled it to death. That is literally like the lore of this card, and he's making me maul to death because every time I open this card, I actually want. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways. Right. Yeah. Every time I draw a card, I'm mauled because it sucks, and all we need is a normal Ancient Warrior summon. That's the only decent one. Lu Jing, he does the same thing as Zhou Gong. And he's like they're both like the strategists and advisors to this guy, so he's like the main character. And what happens is he gets him as a magical musketeer or underdog effect is that when another Ancient Warrior activates their effect, he gets to destroy a spell trap. So not the greatest effect. It's okay here at locals because there's a lot of control decks, but when they're running control decks, I don't get to pop their spell traps anyways because I'm locked out. So this card never comes up. Every time I see it, it just kills me. I might just take this out for like, I don't know, 1 red reboot or something. Or something that's good as a 1-of. So that's the, I forgot what kingdom we're called, but that's the waters. And then onto the winds, we have Guan Yu. You might know this as a very famous Tryndamere skin from League of Legends, but also an ancient Chinese warrior. like Pseudo Pancratops, he gets to special summon himself when you control no monsters. That is not once per turn. I used it against Dylan in our last game when I got 2-0'd. It's very good. So he vanishes it, summon it again. I have 2 in hand. And his effect is that if your opponent controls more monsters, you get to destroy a card. So his major effect is that he makes your other Ancient Warriors untargetable. And what happens is that now your other Ancient Warriors cannot be impermed or effectively alerted, so that they can have their good effects go off. This baits out negates and protects your cards. It's really important to have on the field for the most part. That's why I run 3. Even though there's not always conditions to summon them, it's always good to see it. Like I'm always glad to see Guan Yu on my side. And so the wins typically have some sort of protection effect or effect when you're behind on cards. 3 of this. This is Liu Xuan. So his effect, I tend to use his battle phase effect the most, but his effect is that if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you could discard 1 card and special summon an Ancient Warrior from deck. It really gives you an advantage because it's one of the few precious special summons you can have in this deck. A good effect that it has that I use in conjunction with, this is the effect that I use the most. I use in conjunction with Sun Mo. When the first effect of both of these is that when you control an Ancient Warriors monster, they cannot be targeted by battle. So they make a dupe frog effect when they're both on the field. However, that does not matter when Zombie World's on the field and they get Super Poly into Zombie. So what happens is when you declare an attack, another Ancient Warrior declares an attack, you get to draw a card. That counts as an activation, so you get to activate Sun Mo's effect to bounce back a card. So you attack, draw a card, bounce back a card, and it's a really, really good combo to have, and it gives you a lot of control in the battle phase. And this deck is mostly battle phase control, which is one of the reasons why kind of is poor without the other support, because you can't set up interruptions after you break a board. And 2 of these, 2 of Zhengde. So Zhengde, his effect is that if you control 2 or more Ancient Warrior monsters, you get to special summon it from hand as an effect. So once that resolves, you get to activate your Water Ancient Warrior effects to interrupt your opponent. It's really nice to have when you're able to special summon and also normal summon, or you open Tensu. His other effect that is very rarely used because his summoning condition is really, really dumb and contradicts his second effect. His second effect is he can attack twice per turn if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, and that's an activated effect. You rarely activate this because you would have 3 monsters in the field and you would have broken their board already, so you're really just attacking once. His really good effect is that he has a Purgatorio effect, where he gains 300 attack per opponent's monster. You could do a few things with the trap using this card. You basically could summon a Blue Eye-sized monster from deck. It has helped occasionally. That's it for the Ancient Warrior monsters. I do run 3 Ash Blossom. It's the only good part about this deck. And for consistency, 2 Ravens. You get to search for your Tankies and Tensus. I didn't run these today. I ran Kaijus instead. Boy, was I wrong. That was really, really, really bad. I thought I could Kaiju them, bounce it back to my hand, Kaiju them again. That's just really not worth it. You want to see your opening cards. You want to see your starter cards. So 2 Raven is kind of good. I think you just Ash the Tanky and you lose. Whatever. You lose playing this deck anyways. I can't wait for the support, but the fact that I can take games against meta decks is quite good. Onto the spells. 3 visits. And the story behind this is that the Wind Brothers, all the stupid Wind guys, so you got this guy, and who else? This guy, and they go climb up a mountain, and they try to search for the card that Konami hasn't released yet. So 3 visits is the start of our journey to get Juga Kong released from Eternity Code, and also the Rhoda for the deck. If you summon an Ancient Warrior monster, search for another Ancient Warrior monster. If this gets sent to with a different name, you can't search for the same one again. When this is sent from field to grave, you get to special summon Ancient Warrior from hand. So it's you can always do this. This is why you open up with Sun Mo, because even though he wasn't on the 3 visits, he's the one that you should be visiting because he's the only good card right now. So summon this, effect to search, and some Sun Mo effect, send this special what you searched, and then this searches for another monster card, and you could search for Jangdae or Jungda, and then all kind of other cards already special summoned self. That's 3 cards. 1 card combo, 2 card combo. It's one of the only combo cards in the deck that you're allowed to do combo with. That's it for the 3 of Ancient Warrior spells. 3 tanky, search for your level 4s. It's pretty self-explanatory. Attack boost is actually really helpful because you'll have to take every advantage you can get with this deck. Fire Formation Tensu. God. You listen to Solemn's really hard. You absolutely need your normal summon to resolve or your first summon to resolve because of 3 visits and the fact that your effects, your monster effects are really important. So getting this baits out the Solemn, now you could kill them because they only have 40,000 health, and having 2 normal summons per turn, really, really nice. I will cut this down to 2 because actually, sometimes you just see 3 Tensus and you got a scoop. So it's okay to see. You can search with Raven, and you don't necessarily have to see it all the time. So 3 visits accommodates for this quite well. So I cut down the ratio on Tensu a bit, despite it being an extremely good card. But we just don't have enough Ancient Warriors to normal summon in this deck yet. One of the other cards that can win me games because the actual engine cannot. Super Poly. You'll see why we run this. 1. Ancient Warrior Saga Sunryo Alliance. This is when Sun Mo and Zhou Yu, or what's his name, Zhou Gong on the card. His name is actually Zhou Yu and his name is actually Sun Quan. And they visit each other. They're like, let's talk to Liu Xuan about making an alliance against the cards that haven't been released yet. So that's the story behind that. The Fire Kingdom. It's a VFD. So when you control 2 attributes of Ancient Warriors, activate this. You could declare an attribute, not on activation, of course. It's a ignition. You could declare an element attribute. They can't activate effects of that attribute on the field. Really nice. And the biggest benefit of this card is the attack boost. So when you use an Ancient Warrior effect, you can make all of your Ancient Warriors gain attack, 300 attack equal to the amount of the amount of Ancient Warriors on your field. So if you have 4 Ancient Warriors, they all gain 1,200. It's actually really, really huge, but it's not a starter. You want to search for this, so you don't want to really open this up. 1 Fire Formation Ingen. That's my cowboy. It summons Swan. You can search for it using Tiger King. Is it called Swan? Yeah. You can search for it with Tiger King. You can also search for it with Raven, and it burns them for a game. I'm talking about cowboy for this. And Metal Foes Fusion, you send a lot for cost. Might as well get a plus off of it. And the card that won me 80% of my games, you do all your useless effects, and then you bait out all their negates, and you have 2 level 4s on the field, and they have a link too. You draw this and you lose. And so that's it for spells. On to trap cards. So this card's actually really neat. It's a protection card. So what happens is, on the beginning of your battle phase, you can send this from field to grave, and your opponent cannot attack Ancient Warrior cards. So it kind of skips over their battle phase. It's really nice. You get to play for another turn, especially because if they may force you to go first, this card's really nice to search for. That's why I have the 1 of in the deck. And when you send it as cost or put it in the graveyard, when your opponent declares an attack, you can special summon. You can banish this card and special summon an Ancient Warrior from deck, and usually summon this guy because not only is he in the picture and part of the lore, but he gains, he has a Purgatrio effect. So if somebody's attacking, he'll at least be 3,000 because he'll gain 300 attack. And story behind this, when guys were retreating, he was like, me stay behind and fight everybody. And he shouts 3 times and scares away an entire army. So that's kind of, lore-wise, very canon. Game-wise, very bad. Okay, so, and then more hand traps, 3 in perm. You can put these for Infect Veilers. It just so happens that if they force me to go first, I can set these as interruption. Infect Veiler's fine. You can put in like Ghost Ogres. any hand traps works in place of this. That's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck. Okay, I don't use any of this. You literally should be running Extravagance, but I am not paying for Extravagance to play an Ancient Warrior deck. Not in my life am I going to spend $300 to play this $40 core deck. So, what do I use? Time Favorite Doer is kind of annoying for a lot of decks. They want to get rid of this. It keeps floating, it keeps gaining value. It's really good against like Poltergeist for the most part. Abyss Dweller kills a lot of decks. You can just summon this if they force you to go first. Oh. They do things. Okay. And the card that wins me games, Utopia. Yeah. So you summon double and you kill them. And if they ash the double somehow, and then you just make this. You would be using double in battle phase anyways. But whatever. You use double in battle phase to avoid Effect Veiler, and then try to summon this. If they negate it, just summon this on top. It's not horrible. Unfortunately, this doesn't gain double attack. That'd be pretty nasty to do. Those are like the only cards I've used. Don't use this. Use this against Mystic Mine. Use this to send Raven to grave. Yeah, the extra deck space is really free. That's why we run this. Wow, every super poly target possible. I don't know why people run that stupid World Chalice armored. What is that? What's his dragon name?
Marduk.
Yeah, whatever. Bad. So they're like, oh, spirals. We gotta get rid of Trigate and Appaloosa. It's literally just this one card. You don't need to have like some insane 3-card condition. This gets it out every time, and it's also good for Salamangreats. Like, what do you want from it? Why are you running Marmalade, whatever. And then Swan, burn from for game. This is a cowboy. It also gets to pop things in battle phase. Hooray! Doesn't come up. Really bad super poly target, but if you're really desperate to get rid of that Guru board, there you go. Darks, die. And then Shaddolls. Invoke Shaddolls. I've made this several times against them. They end on like Winda and Kaliga. It's Elysium time, and then I punch them because they leave cross sheep on field, so they lose anyways. So until I draw Utopia, until I draw double or nothing. But yeah, that's it. You want to see my sides?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, my sides suck. Okay, so I don't know why people ask for sides. It's sides are locals only. Okay, so at our locals, some people play spirals and dinos. If they force me to go first, compulse that. Salamangreats too. Oh yeah, you normal summon. Bye bye. Now time for OTK. Okay, Shaddolls invoked, die. Nothing. They play invocation. They play any Shaddol fusion chain. Now they banish all their stuff. Their stuff's shut down. Forgot to side this into Dylan. Whatever. One red reboot just because. Yep. Shuts down traps. Okay. It doesn't matter what these are, but these could be Twin Twisters, Mystic, like Cosmic Cyclones, whatever. Why do I play this? I don't really worry about removing back row too much. Because I lose to those decks anyways. But if I counter Mystic Mine or something, this can last several turns in terms of interruption. Okay, run Twin Twisters or something, or Cosmic Cyclone. 3 Lancia, shuts down Dinos, shuts down Spiral, shuts down invoked zombies. There's a lot of decks at locals that this card is really free against. So yeah, if your locals plays those decks, sure. And also 3 evenly matched. Okay, this card you just have to have it. It's really unfair. It also sucks in this deck because all your stuff happens in the battle phase, and you need them to have more than one monster for your effects to resolve.
I'm doing the fight you just did.
Still run this anyways. How is he gonna win? You just gotta have these blowout cards. You just gotta put in blowout cards. Anyways, that's all I got for this deck.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the interesting deck profile.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe.
I'm playing this at regionals.
And we'll see you next time.